Passive income or financial freedom is a dream almost as winning the lottery. To be independent from a job yet still receive regular money. These dreams are grand, and as grand are the business models offered by various coaches and investment advisors who want to sell you products that can generate such passive income. In this video, we'll explore some myths surrounding this dream and look at the actual possibilities for earning passive income and whether these options are truly as passive as they seem. Let's first define what passive income actually is. Passive income is different from financial freedom in that it aims to create a stream of income that requires no further active work. The goal is to generate income without work, which could simply be termed as a pension. While financial freedom involves covering your entire lifestyle either through existing capital or passive earnings, passive income has a slightly lesser aim. It's about having a side income that is independent of the amount of work you put in. For example, passive income could also be from a small side business you've set up alongside your job that brings in regular earnings. This is different from a part-time job, which is quite active. Now, the question arises, how passive is passive income really? We'll dive into the various ways to generate passive income shortly. The ways to generate passive income can broadly be divided into two categories. Using your labor. In this case, you invest your labor once for a certain period, working on a project, which we'll look at later. This project then continues to operate either completely without further effort or with significantly less effort. Once the project is functional, it generates earnings independent of your labor. Through investments, here you've somehow saved up capital and invest this, and the returns you make are your passive income. Of course, the trick is getting this capital, which usually doesn't just fall from the sky. The simplest way might be through inheritance, but most people will need to earn this capital by saving long-term and spending less to put more money aside. So when we look back at these two major categories, we realize that neither option is truly passive. In the first, you have to put in initial effort, and in the second, you need to strive to accumulate capital initially. If you consider the entire life cycle, it's not so passive after all. There will always be an active phase followed by a more passive phase later on. In fact, during certain phases, let's call them the harvest phases, it might indeed be possible to earn passive income. Let's delve deeper into these two categories and examine the actual passive income opportunities and whether they are truly passive. Starting with the category of passive income through capital gains, there are various options. One of the most popular and widespread among the population is real estate investment. Often considered the ultimate dream of passive income, in this scenario, you typically invest money, usually not your own but borrowed from a bank, and then rent out the property. The renter ensures that the loan is repaid, and once the loan is fully repaid, the rent flows 100% to us, and we no longer have to share it with the bank. In some cases, this can indeed work and generate passive income long-term. However, this is certainly not the standard case because there are many things you actually have to actively manage. Firstly, there's the administrative effort. For example, you need to handle the accounting and maintenance either yourself or coordinate it. Then, of course, you need to respond to tenants' requests and concerns. While some tasks can be outsourced to a property management company, some responsibilities will still remain with you, and hiring a property management service will cost you money. Let's return to the topic of passive income and see how much we would need to invest in real estate to ensure our passive income. Ignoring financing costs, let's calculate how much would be needed to earn €2,000 monthly from a real estate portfolio or a single property. €2,000 is €24,000 annually. With a rental yield of 2.4%, we would need to have €1 million invested in real estate to earn €24,000 per year. So, what are the advantages and disadvantages of real estate investments as a passive financial strategy? Firstly, they are intuitively easy to understand. I believe everyone grasps the concept behind real estate investments. Secondly, a property can also be used personally. Then it's no longer passive income, but a saving on rent. The disadvantages include a generally increased concentration risk. Unless you have a lot of money, it's difficult to diversify properties. Then, as we've seen, there is a comparatively lower return, at least relative to what most people believe they will earn with their property, and there is a significant administrative effort, thus indeed requiring activity. Now, let's move on to the next investment opportunity that could build passive income, investments in stocks or ETFs. Passive income from stocks or ETFs is likely much more relaxed compared to real estate since there is no need to deal with tenant requests or maintenance. However, like with real estate, a substantial amount of capital is still required. The returns might be somewhat higher, but so are the fluctuations in value. These fluctuations make it a bit more complicated to precisely calculate how much money needs to be invested to derive a monthly passive income of €2,000. Let's assume an average growth rate of 7%, which is what global stock markets have historically achieved over the long term. However, this 7% should not be mistaken as the withdrawal rate. Just because the investment yields 7%, you can't necessarily withdraw 7% annually. This involves what's known as sequence of returns risk. We calculated with a 4% withdrawal rate, meaning you'd need €800,000 to achieve €2,000 in monthly passive income. With a 3% withdrawal rate, it's still €600,000. So how do stocks and ETFs fare as sources of passive income? Firstly, the advantage is that they can offer relatively high returns and, compared to real estate, involve less administrative effort. The downside is that, like with real estate, a substantial capital is required, the investment is considerably more volatile, and there's a real risk of losing all your money, in the worst case, leaving you without any passive income. Moving on to another asset class often cited as a source of passive income, peer-to-peer P2P lending. This involves platforms where you deposit your money, which is then lent out to individuals on the other side. The interest paid by these borrowers constitutes the majority of your returns. Since these loans carry significant risk, the interest rates are usually quite high. According to Bondora, a P2P platform, the average interest rate there is 25.8%. However, don't be misled by this figure. These loans can also default, meaning they might not be repaid and then your money is essentially gone. Therefore, you must diversify across various loans and not just invest in a single borrower. The fact is, the high return must be adjusted for defaults, resulting in a much lower effective rate, around 6.8%. Bondora also offers another option to directly invest your money in a portfolio where they manage the loans, and there you are paid a fixed 4%. So, to achieve €2,000 in passive income from this product called Bondora Gold, you would again need €600,000 invested. If you choose to invest the normal way at 6.8%, as mentioned earlier, you would need at least €350,000. But beware, unlike the stock market, there is a real counterparty risk here. If the P2P platform goes bankrupt, you will likely not be able to access your money, or only do so with difficulty and possibly at a loss. Therefore, you should never invest a large portion of your assets here, but only a part. The advantages of P2P loans for passive income include the high potential returns. On the downside, there is a high default probability and the aforementioned counterparty risk. Also here, substantial capital is necessary to truly achieve a long-term passive income. Let's discuss passive income with cryptocurrencies. Currently, it's not very feasible, but during the boom years around 2021, when all cryptocurrencies were skyrocketing, many promoted the idea of generating passive income with cryptocurrencies. On one hand, significant capital gains could be realized with cryptocurrencies, but also through lending or staking, it was promised to generate substantial passive income. The risks involved have become evident over the last 12 months, as many staking and lending providers have disappeared along with the invested capital. Hence, generating passive income with cryptocurrencies is more a matter of luck. Let's look at this table showing the returns you would have achieved with Bitcoin in recent years. We're showing annual returns, and in this column, we'll show how much you would have needed to invest during that period to achieve a monthly passive income of €2,000. In the last 3 years, returns have been negative, so you wouldn't have been able to generate any passive income at all. However, if you had invested in Bitcoin 10 years ago, it would have been sufficient to invest €53,000. As you can see from this table, it would have been quite a gamble. Thus, investing in cryptocurrencies as a source of passive income is not really suitable. The advantages, of course, include the potential for very high returns, hence requiring a lower initial capital. The disadvantages are extremely high uncertainty. You do not know whether you will actually achieve these returns or if you might even incur losses. Let's move to the second category of potential passive income sources, namely passive income from previously completed work. The idea here is that you put a lot of effort into something for a while, like a small business or a side project, which then generates regular cash flows, even when you no longer continue to put much work into it. Let's look at another way to earn passive income through online courses and webinars. You likely have a strong skill set in something. Whether it's mastering Excel, programming, or video editing, you might consider creating a webinar or an online course. You can then upload it to platforms like Udemy, where it can be sold on your behalf. You need to create the course once and it remains online, potentially attracting regular buyers. However, this isn't 100% passive, especially if you provide technical instructions. Over time, these videos may become outdated, necessitating new videos and updates. Let's stay in the creative realm for our next option, which we've named earning ad revenue through content creation, producing YouTube videos, starting a podcast, or creating an Instagram or TikTok account and making it big. Unlike video courses, producing high-quality content here requires a lot of work. However, if you manage to find your niche, you can eventually earn money through ad revenue or so-called affiliate links, where you recommend products and receive a commission. From personal experience, I can tell you this activity is not at all passive. We invest an extreme amount of time in YouTube, podcasts, and other sources, so this approach should be approached with caution. However, if you manage to upload a YouTube video that generates views long-term, you could earn an income from it for several years. In the realm of social media, it's essential to continually create new content. You can also monetize many other talents. For instance, if you're a hobby photographer, travel a lot, and take beautiful photos, consider uploading them to platforms like Shutterstock, where people can use your images for a fee. The same goes for music and sound production. There's a market for that too. Or if you're a skilled programmer, consider app development. Perhaps you're an excellent writer and want to earn beyond your VG Ward income. You could write a book. However, this is likely more of a hobby project than a significant moneymaker. Another option often touted in the crypto space as passive income is crypto mining. The problem with mining is that profitability depends heavily on electricity costs. And of course, the latest and best hardware means significant capital investment. We've just discussed some standard ideas anyone can try. It's even better if you can develop your own idea and possibly build a business on it that can work passively for you. So let's summarize the topic of passive income. There are two ways to earn passive income. The first involves capital investments, which have the unpleasant caveat that you initially need a lot of money and it's not completely passive. If you want to create passive income from your labor, it's usually much less passive than you might think. Should we then lose faith and say that passive income is all nonsense? I don't think so. I believe you can still set the ambition to find a way to earn money alongside your regular job by decoupling your income from your time. This doesn't mean you won't have to work at all, but maybe you can use your passion to earn additional money. I hope you enjoyed this video and that we were able to demystify passive income a bit. If so, please give us a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you've ever considered starting a small side business or a side hustle. Thanks for watching, and if you're new to our channel, I'd of course be delighted if you subscribed.